Yo, what's up everybody? It's me, WD Michael, and in today's YouTube video, I'm going to be conducting a Pokemon experiment. And in this one, we're going to be actually testing to see just how bad the hacked Pokemon problem is in the Pokemon Scarlet video games. So let's get into this video and see what we can find out. All right, so to kick off this experiment, I wanted to talk about the why. Why are we even conducting this experiment? Why is it even relevant? So the reason why we're doing this is because a couple of years ago, there was a program created in the Pokemon community called PK Hex. Now, what PK Hex allowed you to do was to enter in some code, and afterwards, you would basically get sent back a fully functioning Pokemon. Long story short, and that fully functioning Pokemon could have all of the correct IVs. It would have all the right moves. It would basically be 100% competitive, ready to go Pokemon that you could utilize on the game instead of spending hours grinding in the game to get, money, to get TMs, to train them, to evolve them, all that kind of stuff you could just immediately do within just a few minutes. And so with that massive amount of time saving, it took the Pokemon, specifically the Pokemon VGC community, by storm, really, because a lot of people were able to test a lot of teams really quickly. They were able to get Pokemon in game in a matter of minutes. Instead of spending days, weeks getting the team and then testing it and then finding out that it just didn't work and they would have to restart all over. So there was some added benefits, but those added benefits didn't necessarily make the rest of the community happy because people were upset that, okay, well, you've just got this hacked Pokemon. It took you no time. You weren't really playing the game. It's an unfair advantage. A lot of things. So, I mean, there was a back and forth, and rightfully so. I mean, there's an argument for both sides, and I've seen it, and I get it. I've been around the community. I've seen a lot of the hacked Pokemon. I've seen how it ends up affecting the community, and to be honest, I'm indifferent. I definitely don't have a side on it. I don't really care either or. But I do want to at least test it and see kind of how bad is it, because I see a lot of people posting on Twitter about how rampant and how terrible it is. And then, when I'm playing the game, it doesn't ever really bother me. So I don't know. I wanted to see what it was. And another reason why was because recently we've been getting a lot more tests from the Pokemon companies. So normally, like a lot of those regional events, there wasn't really a lot of issues of people getting banned or removed from tournaments, or very rarely you would ever hear somebody getting kicked out of a tournament for having hacked Pokemon or hacked Pokemon on their team. But recently, especially with this last year in Japan for the Worlds event, there has been a lot more discussion about the hacked Pokemon, and the Pokemon company definitely during the Worlds event really upped their checks, and there were quite a few people that got kicked out of that Worlds event due to hacked Pokemon. So hacked Pokemon are definitely there. They are definitely a problem in the community, but how big is that problem really? Like, is it really as bad as we all think it is? And so that's what I want to do today. I wanted to do a small experiment just to kind of get an idea of what's happening in the community, and how prevalent they really are, because we've all seen it when we do wonder trades. You get a Machamps.com Pokemon, that's immediately fake. So there are definitely ways of getting fake Pokemon. We've seen it, and we see them advertising it so that they can sell these fake Pokemon. That's another part of these fake Pokemon, is that people are selling shiny Pokemon or selling competitive ready Pokemon when they're just basically a created piece of code that took that person a couple of minutes to create. So it's kind of an interesting topic. I've always been really interested, really intrigued about all the different topics and discussions that come up about it. So I would honestly, before we get started with this video, I'd love if you head on down to the comments and let me know what you think about our hacked Pokemon issue in the Pokemon Scarlet video games or any of the other previous games. How do you feel about it? Has it ever affected you? Has there been any issues that you've dealt with this kind of these hacked Pokemon? Do you hate it? Do you like it? Do you use it? Do you not? Whatever it is, let me know down in the comments. I would absolutely love to take a look at it, and if we get enough comments and stuff, I might make another video kind of discussing it and going over them. But what we're gonna do in this video, at least how I'm gonna test it, is I'm going to use this box of Froakies, these lovely sacrifices towards our experiment, but we are going to utilize the Wonder Trade service. So it's going to be completely random. I'm not going to be trading with anybody in particular, so we'll kind of keep that control there. It'll be 100% random. We won't know who we're going to be getting into, but we are going to Wonder Trade this entire box of Pokemon, and then we're going to see just how many of those Pokemon are fake. And there's definitely ways we can tell. There's some that'll probably be a little bit more difficult, but for the most part, a fake Pokemon stands out pretty easily. So let's hop into this. I'm going to go ahead and trade through this entire box, and then when I am done, I will come right back here and then we will go over them and see just how many of these fake, or how many of these Pokemon end up being fake that we get traded back. So let's get into it. All right, so we've wonder traded the entire box of Froakies away, and we have gotten our results from our little experiment. So I want to hop through and scroll through each one of them because there were definitely some standouts that I was like, yeah, I know that one's hacked because they're really, really obvious, but I want to go through some of the other ones just to make sure I didn't miss any. So first off, before we get into this, any disclaimer, basically, one, I don't condone using fake Pokemon. I really would never suggest anybody to go onto a website to buy Pokemon. It's never necessary. Please don't do it. And if you ever need help with getting Pokemon, please just message me. I have absolutely no problem in helping you out. So please don't ever go that route. Just know that this is just an experiment. It is not a way for me to advertise fake Pokemon. If anything, I want to bring light to the situation that we do have fake Pokemon and that you shouldn't be using it. That's really like the take of this. I want to see how bad this actual issue is. So please don't use hacked Pokemon for any reason. Secondly, when we're looking at fake Pokemon, obviously I don't have like a hack checker. I can't sit here and be like, okay, that one's for sure hacked. But what I can do is I can take a look at these Pokemon and get an idea of which ones are fake because they generally have some telltale signs. One, the biggest one is the Pokemon is shiny. I mean, a shiny Pokemon stands out to a lot of the Pokemon community. As soon as we see it, it makes us excited. So whenever you get a shiny Pokemon in a Wonder Trade, you get a little bit more excited and you tend to check that Pokemon out. It's a way to bait people into looking at that Pokemon because almost always a hacked Pokemon is going to have the website where you can go to get more of them. So it's more or less an advertisement for them at this point. So shiny Pokemon are like the first thing that we look for. If it's shiny, that's our first one that we want to check out. They're almost never going to send out non-shiny Pokemon unless like it's one of those Pokemon where it's legendary and they haven't released the shiny, stuff like that. But for the most part, the first check is shiny. Second off, you can tell sometimes if it's got a really fancy Pokeball that maybe would be really hard to get that Pokemon in, or a really, really rare Pokeball. That's another telltale sign, matched with being it's shiny. Some of the other things that you can take a look at are, and the other really, really big dead giveaway is the original trainer. If the original trainer is anything.com, it's probably fake. There's a reason why they have those OTs as that. It's because it's a way for them to advertise. So if you see that, it's also probably fake, and I probably wouldn't use it. So let's go through our Pokemon box and let's take a look and see just how many of these Pokemon were actually fake. So we did an entire box. Our first Pokemon was our Dino. It's from Gummy King. It is level 1, so it seems like this was hatched from an egg. It's not shiny. I don't see anything weird. Not fake. Our next Pokemon is a Hisuian Zorua. Now, it is in a Beast Ball, which is a little bit harder to do, but not impossible, okay? It is not impossible. It is a level 1 Pokemon, so it looks like it was hatched from an egg. States it was hatched from an egg. I would say it's probably a legitimate Pokemon. Our next one is a Fuecoco, so it's another level 1 Pokemon. Probably an egg hatch. And that's exactly what it says. Probably legit. We've got a Greedent now, level 25. So again, not level 100 or anything like that. It's not shiny. I don't see anything weird about it. The trainer doesn't have a .com. Probably the normal Pokemon. So far, so good. Slacking, level 44 in a, I believe, I can't remember if that's Timer or Heavy Ball. I can't think of it at the moment. But we've got a Slacking, level 44. Nothing crazy. I don't see anything that would make me think that this is a fake or hacked Pokemon. Seems like a pretty legit normal Pokemon. Sweet. Dratini. There is a dot, but it is in a foreign language, so I don't know what it's actually saying. The Dratini is not shiny, so that's not something I'm super worried about. It is also in a Quick Ball, not a really rare Pokeball, and it's also level 1, so it's probably hatched from an egg. Doesn't know anything crazy. Like I said, it was hatched from an egg. Probably another legit Pokemon. So far, I mean, so good. No, I haven't really seen anything out of the ordinary. The original trainer for this Starly is Dad. Yo, my dad caught this? No way. Great Ball, nothing rare, no shiny. Don't see any name in it. Probably a legit Pokemon. It looks like it was hatched from an egg. Our next one, we've got a Quillfish. Foreign, so it's a Japanese, level 35, not level 100, not shiny, nothing crazy there. Looks like it was caught in the Crystal Cavern. Don't see anything out of the ordinary on this one. Probably a legit Pokemon. All right, moving on to Turtwig. Got a really nice Pokeball. I think that is the Friend Ball. Pretty nice. A very rare Pokeball. Definitely one that's hard to get. Is it impossible? No. Definitely not impossible, but definitely hard to get. Well, I mean, it is a starter. I wonder if there's a way. I bet you there is a way to get the starter Pokemon with different types of Pokeballs, depending on how you train them. I don't know if we've gotten a Turtwig in the raid dens yet. So this one is one of those ones where I'm not 100% sure, and the big reason is because, one, it's a starter, and the starter Pokemon are one of those ones where they're a little bit tricky to get into very specific Pokeballs, obviously, because generally when you get a starter Pokemon, it's in a Pokeball, and really the only other way to get it in there is potentially by breeding it and having it, like, I know there's ways in breeding of getting your Pokeball to change, like I know with like Hisuian Zorua you can do it and stuff like that. So I know there's ways to change it, but with the starter Pokemon, I don't know how much more difficult that is. So this one's a little bit iffy to me. I'm not 100% sure, but there's nothing that screams like it's 100% super fake. It may have had a fake parent at one point, but since it is hatched from an egg, chances are it itself is probably not a hacked or fake Pokemon. All right, now we've got a Sunflora, level 40, not shiny. Really doesn't seem to be anything crazy on this one. Probably not. We've got a Kricketune, level 49, not shiny, no crazy Pokeball. Ooh, it was owned by Wolfie. Ooh, yo, was this a Wolfie special? Sweet. Nothing crazy about that one. Seems pretty legit. Feebas. Now, when you see Feebas is definitely a rare Pokemon, so this is definitely one of those ones where you're like, it might be. But it's not shiny, and it's level 71, so it's not maxed out level. Don't think that this one has any sort of issues on it either. Probably just a straight up normal Pokemon. So far, we haven't gotten any. So, I mean, so far, they've all seemed pretty legit. All right, so now we've got a Toadschool, level 12 with a Psychic Terra. Was probably caught in one of the raid dens. Not shiny. Don't see anything weird with the Pokeball. Location at Crystal Cavern, so it was one of the, yeah, so nothing wrong with this one. Seems legit as well. We've got another Sunflora by Brandon, level 45, not shiny, Quick Ball. Pretty normal Pokemon. Nothing out of the ordinary there. And budding. Here we go with our first, more than likely a fake Pokemon. So first off, you can tell that the name of the Pokemon says PokeRay.com. So they absolutely changed the name of the Pokemon as an advertisement to go to their website. And again, please do not go to this website. There's no reason to get shiny fake Pokemon. It is absolutely a waste of your money. And if you're doing it, please stop. Just go and chat with one of your absolutely amazing streamers on Twitch, or anybody in the community, as we would be more than happy to get you legit Pokemon. Now it is a Quaxley level 5 shiny. It's got an ability patch. That's another thing to look out. I didn't talk about is if it's got some crazy, like super hard to get item as well. Again, what they're trying to do with these Pokemon is advertise. They're trying to intrigue you, be like, hey, this is a shiny starter. It's got an ability patch as a rare item. They're trying to really intrigue you to look at that Pokemon, because the moment you do, you see that it's from PokeRay.com, and with some people, they're going to go to that website. So yeah, definitely a faked and or hacked Pokemon. So number one down, we do have one in the box. Let's see if we get any other ones. Mankey. Honestly, when I was trading with these Pokemon, this was my favorite one, because it says it's not Mankey, it's Mankey, but with an E, and it's just, I love it, man. I'll be honest, some of the German names for Pokemon are by far the greatest things ever. And this is one of them. I love this name. This is super cool. I might even just keep it as that and evolve this into an Annihilate and call it Mankey. I love it. Anyway, so level 15 German Thomas, original trainer, not shiny, normal Pokeball. Looks like a pretty normal, regular old Pokemon. Tadbold from Connor and a repeat ball, level 1, probably hatched from an egg, not shiny. Exactly correct. Probably not fake. Jolteon. Jolteon's one of those ones, obviously, anytime you get like rare evolution, all that kind of stuff, you always like, gotta check. So Jolteon, level 54, repeat ball. You'd probably say it's probably not a hacked Pokemon at that point. Don't see anything out of the ordinary. Pretty normal Pokemon. Eevee. We got level 1 Eevee. It's not shiny. It isn't a Premier Ball, which is pretty cool. Original trainer was Vex. So far, I don't see anything out of the ordinary yet. Looks like it was an egg. Looks pretty normal to me. Just straight up a normal egg hatched Eevee. All right, so now we've got our Chinese Indeedee, level 35. Not shiny. Looks to be just a normal Pokemon caught in a crystal cavern, so it was a den. Normal Pokemon. All right. And we have hacked Pokemon number 2. So absolutely another hacked Pokemon. As we can see, it is from PokeRay.com. It doesn't actually have an item, which is kind of weird. But it is in a very special Pokeball. Obviously, it's in that luxury ball. It is also a level 5 Scizor. So, I mean, that's definitely hard to get. And yeah, it's straight up a hacked Pokemon. We got another one. So that's 2 for us so far in this little experiment. I'm kind of expecting us, like my initial, like trading out an entire box, I was expecting to get 1 or 2. That was kind of where I thought we were going to get. So let's see if we end up breaking that. So far we're at about 2, and I think we're like halfway through. Let me see. No, we're actually more than halfway through. So we're more than halfway through, and we've already gotten 2. So we'll see if we get any more. So yeah, Scizor, 1000% hacked. Vulpix, we got a level 1 Love Ball. Really, really cool Pokemon. Love that it's the Ice Vulpix. It's not shiny. But it is a really cool Pokeball. It looks like it was just an egg hatch. Looks like it was somebody's, oh, excuse me. Looks like this was somebody's breed reject that they ended up trading off. Sweet, love it. Thanks for the Pokemon. But definitely does not seem to be fake. We've got a Doxbon level 75. This one was probably out of one of the Terra raids because it does have the water Terra, so it's different than its normal. It was a Crystal Cavern. Yep, so probably a just straight up normal Pokemon. And we have hacked Pokemon number 3. So again, the name of the Pokemon is their website. It is Original Trainer, their website. It is holding a very hard to get item in a Master Ball. It is shiny. It is a Hisuian Pokemon, so it's already hard to get and like just screams fake Pokemon. So absolutely more than likely a hacked Pokemon. I'd be surprised if it wasn't. It was hatched from an egg that was received. Woo! Yeah, so hacked Pokemon number 3 in the books for this one. All right, let's hop into the next one. Psyduck, level 7. Not shiny, normal Pokeball. Looks to be a normal Pokemon. We have a Froakie, the only Froakie we got in return, level 1 from Korea. Looks like it is not shiny. It is a good Pokeball though, so they definitely made a solid choice for the Pokeball, but it looks to be a normal Pokemon. And we have our 4th confirmed hacked Pokemon in this Wonder Trade experiment. Now we've got Zacian.net, Shiny Ditto, obviously. Shiny Dittos are a hot commodity. It's another one of those Pokemon. And a lot of the times when you see these hacked Pokemon being traded like this, it's not just going to be like a shiny Psyduck because, well, I mean, shiny Psyduck is cool, but it isn't something that is super like, it's really got to pack a punch when it gets traded to that person because they want them to go to their website. Shiny Ditto is definitely a huge Pokemon because people love to breed with them. You got to get those Dittos from a different country for the Masuda method, all that kind of stuff. So like, it is definitely one of the higher up, kind of the more sought after shiny Pokemon. And so when they send them out, it is definitely going to be one of these ones. So we've got a shiny Ditto that is hacked as can be. Number 4. All right, let's get into the next one. So Mabastiff, we got a level 54 from Italy. Looks like we have a pretty normal Pokemon. Nothing out of the ordinary on that one. We now have a Lampet from Japan, level 45, different Terra, and a Repeat Ball. Looks like this was a Crystal Cavern. Oh, okay, so never mind. This was found in the Infernal Pass. This must have been one of these static encountered because I was like, why would have a grass Terra type but not be in a Crystal Cavern? But this is probably one of the static encounters that you can find on the Infernal Pass. So another normal Pokemon. And for our final Pokemon in this, our little experiment, we have a Gumshoes level 22 from Japan. Nothing out of the ordinary, normal Pokeball, not shiny. And so, yeah, looks like we have found our hacked Pokemon. So let's move these all into one area. We have this guy. We have our Scizor. Oop. We have, where was the other one? Sneasler, and we have Ditto. So out of our, hold on, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So out of 30 Pokemon, we had 4 fake Pokemon. So let me hop over to my calculator real quick. Let's figure out exactly what our percentage on this one was. Let's see. So we had 30 Pokemon divided by 4. Looks like about 7.5% of the Pokemon that we got were fake. It's a decent amount of Pokemon to be fake out of Wonder Trade. I mean, it's definitely like they're out there. Like if we would have only gotten one Pokemon that was hacked, be like, okay, like definitely a pretty rare occurrence. It's definitely something you're not going to see every, you know, like one out of an entire box of Wonder Trade, you get one shiny Pokemon or one fake Pokemon. But this was 4. We got 4 hacked Pokemon in an entire box. That's a pretty sizable number of hacked Pokemon to be traded out in an entire box of Pokemon. 7.5% of the Pokemon that we traded in this box were fake. decent number, and definitely goes to show you that they are out there. And there's multiple websites, and we've got Zation.net, we've got Pokemon.gg, we got PokemonRay.com. Like, there are quite a few websites, and I know there's more, and we would have definitely gotten more if like we'd have traded another box away. Probably would have gotten some other websites, you know, Machamps.com, or any other of the, you know, because there's some streamers who end up creating fake Pokemon. Like, there's a lot. To be honest, there's a lot of fake Pokemon out there. It's definitely something that's in our community, and I can see why people are concerned by it, because, you know, you can get a pretty crazy Pokemon, or a Pokemon that takes some other people, you know, like this guy. For example, this is a Hisuian Sneasel. To get a Hisuian Sneasel in your game, you have to actually own Pokemon Legends of Arceus, so that's, you know, another $60 down the drain that you gotta buy. So anybody who's doing these Pokemon legit for tournaments, you know, they gotta spend money, they gotta spend time, they have to really take the time to really train these Pokemon and get through this process to get competitive Pokemon. And to them, it probably does feel like, you know, being cheated out, you know, seeing somebody, you know, come up and have a Pokemon team that was created or genned in 10 minutes, completely perfect without zero flaws, and then, you know, you spent the last week making your Pokemon team being a Pokemon trainer, doing what the game is intended for you to do. And you know, it can definitely, I can understand why people would be upset. I mean, they're out there, it's an issue. And so I'm, to be honest, for me personally, I've used hacked Pokemon, I'll admit it. I've used it when I'm creating Pokemon teams for my stream and stuff. I am a stay-at-home dad, I don't have a whole lot of time to be making a bunch of teams on a regular basis as a content creator. So I've definitely utilized it in some of my team building and stuff like that. But I would, and I say but, and I'm like, oh, why am I even doing that? But with me, I know for a fact that if I'm ever going to be using those Pokemon, it is going to be for online tournaments or my own gameplay, maybe playing on the ranked ladder, anything like that. I would never, and I have never taken them to a real event. So I did go to my first regional at Knoxville, and at that regional event, I took an entire team created by myself. It honestly took me about 3 or 4 days because there was some shiny Pokemon that I wanted to get into it. And it was a really awesome experience. So I mean, I've done both, and so that's why I wanted to do this, was because, you know, I've been on both sides of the fence where I've had the, you know, the opportunity to make a gen Pokemon team to save myself some time for content creation, and I've also taken a fully trained Pokemon team that I did all on my own to an actual in-game event, or a real life event. And so I've lived on both sides of it, and I can see how both of them are rewarding and how they can be utilized in our community in the proper ways. But again, this is just one of those really crazy kind of topics to talk about, because there are so many people that are so you know, either they're on the fence, or they're so far left, or they're so far right. And so this has definitely been one of the bigger like topics in Pokemon for quite a while now. I've been creating content in Pokemon for a couple years now, and it has definitely been something that's constantly been brought up. And I don't think it's ever really going to go away unless they get rid of hacked Pokemon. And I don't know if that's ever going to happen. I don't know if there's a way to get rid of it. But yeah, it's definitely a really cool topic to talk about, because it's definitely something that really affects the Pokemon community like unlike any other really community that I've ever really known or been a part of as far as in gaming. It's very unique to this community and what we do, and it's a fun topic to talk about. I definitely enjoy talking about it. So like I said in the beginning of the video, make sure you drop on down and let me know how you feel about hacked Pokemon in the Pokemon games. What are your feelings? How do you feel about it? Do you feel like it's cheating? Do you feel like it's just a way to save time? I don't know, let me know. I'd love to hear about it. Yo, thank you all so much for coming out to this Pokemon experiment where we tested just how bad the hacked Pokemon issue is in the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet video games. And to be honest, the findings were a little shocking, but not so far out of what I was, you know, it wasn't, if I would have gotten half of my Pokemon box was hacked Pokemon, I would have been absolutely like stunned. That would have been excessive, and I would have been a little bit surprised, to be honest. But getting 4 Pokemon out of an entire box is definitely like, that's a few. But it's kind of expected at this point. Hacked Pokemon have been around for a couple of video games now, and at the moment it doesn't seem like it's going to be anything that's going away. And the biggest reason is because, I mean, the Pokemon company is a big company. It's got a lot of popularity around it, and to be honest, it's a way for people to make money. And if there's money being involved or there's money being shuffled around, it's not going to end anytime soon. Pokemon Hex and creating hacked Pokemon has definitely been something that has created entire websites based around it. And they're making money, and the reason why they're still doing it is because they're still making money. So until that whole like money train stops with all these fake hacked Pokemon, it's not going to go away. It's definitely going to be there, and it's going to be a problem until something gets done about it. And again, I don't work for Pokemon Company. I don't know how big of an issue it is. I don't know how easy it is to stop. I don't know. But I do know that it's definitely not going to go away until the money ends up not being there. And that ends up either happening when they either change the programming, stop allowing it to happen, or or they end up taking some more serious measures to ban people that are using, like either they scare the community out of using it, or they find a way in the system to make it so it's not possible. But until then, it's not going to go away. There's too much hype around shiny Pokemon. There's too much hype around getting competitive Pokemon to play in competitive tournaments. And the amount of time that it saves people is gonna intrigue people, and they're gonna come into it, and they're gonna see it, and they're gonna do it. It's just part of where we're at in the Pokemon game, and it'll be interesting to see how the next couple of games come out, if any changes are done, because I'll be honest, this last year or so, I've seen more changes than I have with Pokemon Sword and Shield as far as hacked Pokemon goes. I mean, I know there's always been hack checks at regionals and live events, but I'll be honest, I know for a fact I've seen people bring hacked Pokemon to Scarlet and Violet regionals. There is definitely ways where they get through. The hack checks that we've had, at least in the United States, have not been strong enough to catch all of them. But I'll tell you what, Worlds was a whole new story, and that was definitely like a huge kick to a lot of the community. Because there was a lot of people that got kicked out of that event for having hacked Pokemon. The hack checks were a little bit more severe, and that's just the culture that Japan has. Hacked Pokemon in Japan are a huge, it's a different culture, and they do not tolerate it as much as we do. And so the hack checks at the Worlds event were a lot stronger, and a lot more people got caught. And I'm curious if any of that's going to start coming into any of our events. Obviously it hasn't happened yet, with EUIC, LA, all these tournaments and events. We haven't seen any massive removals for people having hacked Pokemon like they did with the Worlds event. So that technology hasn't left Japan as of yet, but who knows when it will. It'll be interesting to see if it does end up going. But honestly, this was a really cool video. I had an absolute blast doing this. This is a really fun topic to explore and to see. If you have any suggestions for any other things that we can do to test this, or any other parts of the Pokemon community or Pokemon game that you want me to test, let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear about it. But yeah, and again, if you like this kind of content from me, make sure you hit that like, that subscribe, and that notification bell so you get notified when I drop more videos just like this one, or hop on over to my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/wmichael to come watch me play Pokemon games live, and or to play in some Pokemon tournaments that I host with the Wide League. But yeah, again, thank you all so much. This was an absolute blast, and hopefully you all have a fantastic time out in the Paldea and the Kitakami regions, and can go forth in those regions with a little bit more knowledge on how to spot a hacked Pokemon, and hopefully you won't be using them. But again, thank you all so much for coming out, and until next time, trainers, I hope you have a fantastic day. Peace out.